Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory be to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha Kodash. And I want to say double honors to the apostles and the elders, great millstone, the rule well. Blessings to the hopeful elect out there teaching this word in all sincerity and truth, in the hopes that we may edify and feed the lambs of Yahweh Shai, especially in these last days. And pretty much I just wanted to do a quick video, because I came across this article from the Daily Star.co.uk. I did a video on these, this topic yesterday, especially in light of what happened in London with these horses. I think you had the black horse and the white horse. And the white horse, as you can see, is galloping through the streets of London in the early morning hours, but it was covered in blood. All right, and and pretty much, you got it to where the Daily Star, they did an article on it, and they're straight up calling it a dark omen. All right, and this is in mainstream media. All right, so I've got the article open here. I ain't gonna make this video too long at all. I'm just gonna because like I said, I just did a video on this yesterday, and the first thing that I thought about with the white horse. I thought about, the scriptures of Isaiah 63. I also thought about the white horse, how Yahweh Shai is going to, pretty much come and conquer this place. Was that Revelation, the 6th chapter, speaking about the white horse, which I got them scriptures out yesterday. I think it's Revelation 6 and 2. But you also got Isaiah 63. But then you got another scripture, Revelation 14 and 20. In fact, let me get that one. Hold on a second. So I'm gonna go to Revelation 14, and let me go from 19. Right, and the angel thrusted his sickle into the earth and gathered the vine of the earth and cast it into the great winepress of the wrath of Yahweh. All right, and we're coming to a time of great wrath. The scriptures speak about the day of the Lord cometh, both fierce and cruel. In fact, let's get that scripture real quick. I want to get that before we move on. It says, which verse is it? I know it's it's Isaiah 13. Is it verse 10? Verse 10, yes. Verse 9. It says, behold, the day of the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai cometh, cruel both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate, and he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it. So the day of the Lord, there ain't going to be no, cakewalk, ain't going to be no walk in the park. The day of the Lord is going to be fierce. All right, it says it's coming and it's going to be cruel both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate. All right, and the land that it's talking about specifically is talking about America, which is Babylon the Great. All right, so we ain't in, we ain't in the time of peace and safety. We're in the time of war. We're in the time of wars, rumors of wars, earthquakes in diverse places, and we're in the time of omens, signs. All right, you straight up seeing this article, from the Star, the Daily Star, pretty much coming out and telling you that this was a dark omen. Seeing these seeing a blood-soaked white horse gallop through the streets of the UK or London, And not only that, man, these were military horses. So, and that we've been speaking about how, the military is going to roll out here. Okay, and how, the scriptures speak about that in 2nd Ezra 16 and 70, I believe. About that they shall be like madmen, sparing none. Okay, and that's what's coming. All right, so let's go back to Revelation 14 and 20. It says, and the winepress was trodden without the city, and blood came out of the winepress even unto the horses' bridles, right, by the face of 1,600 furlongs. All right, so that's another scripture you can go to as well. Talking about the blood being up into the horse's bridle. All right. And Yahweh Shai, when the scriptures speak about, him treading the winepress, and that's symbolic of all the killing that he's going to do when he comes back. That's the wrath. The scripture says the day of the Lord burns in his heart. We went into them scriptures yesterday. The scriptures speak about how he's going to fill the places, with the dead bodies, man. So in this article, what I find interesting though is with these well, let's read it. All right, it says blood covered horses, all right, and Big Ben clock stopping leads to fear of dark omens. So initially when I did this video, I didn't even know that the Big Ben clock had stopped. All right, now they're saying that, well, let's read it. I said it says bloodied horses running through central London. All right, and the sudden halt of Big Ben's clock face, right? Big Ben's clock face has the public worried the end times are upon us as a series of omens are spotted in the capital. And we know that, there's nothing that's done by coincidence or by accident. All right. And, and Esau, he sets things up on the left hand side. Could this have been set up by Esau of Edom? Very likely. All right. But you know what the scripture says? The deceived and the deceiver are his. So ultimately, it's the Lord that's showing these omens in these last days. And these are the things we have to watch out for. We've got to be watchmen. All right. And this is a hell of a sight. And, there was another, I think it was, Hugo Talks, he was even saying, well, what were the press doing there so quickly? Why were the press so, they were just out there on the streets ready to capture these horses, galloping, these blood-soaked horses galloping through the streets of London, smashing into taxis and buses, with blood all over them. So, this is, this is very well could be a setup, but it's also an omen. It's also a sign. All right, these are military horses, and they're even talking about not even allowing these horses back into the service because, they go for exercise and that and whatever, and apparently they just bolted off from Buckingham Palace. All right, so they're ready to give that order. Remember, the scriptures speak about, the great wrath. All right, let's get Revelation 12 and 12. Okay, let's pull it up here. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that... this is Revelation chapter 12, verse 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time. All right, so Esau's going to come with his wrath, man. All right, and really the Lord's going to put that spirit upon him to come with that wrath. Remember, the scripture says, what did King David say? Deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. All right, so Esau is nothing but the sword of the Lord on the left-hand side. As we're seeing the sword being sharpened, and Esau preparing these concentration camps and these, chipping stations, to roll out the MOTB, the mark of the beast, bring back the guillotine and so on and so forth. That's that great wrath in a short time because they want to establish their new world order agenda. All right. And they will stop at, this is why they're introducing chaos. Right now, when I speaking about chaos, before I forget that point, let's keep on reading in this article because I find it's interesting, especially with the whole Big Ben clock. Okay. Now, this Big Ben clock, if it's 1 o'clock, the clock's going to chime once. If it's 2 o'clock, it will chime twice. 3, 4, 5 o'clock, and so on and so forth. Now, the time that this clock actually stopped was just after 9 a.m. All right, which just so happened to be around the time where these horses were running through the streets of London. All right, so check this out. It says the signs of the end times have hit London as social media users fear runaway horses and a clock stop is an omen. 4 people were injured by a horse covered in blood earlier today, April 24th, right? After 2 horses bolted from a training exercise, their riders were thrown and a soldier was injured before the pair of stallions dashed through the center of the capital. All right, just a short while before the horses broke loose, cultural landmark Big Ben was seen to have stopped. Okay, the restored clock stayed silent just after 9 a.m. Now remember that, the number 9 a.m. All right, the hands remained unmoved. Now, I got another article over here. This is from the Daily Mail. Okay, and this again was put up yesterday, April 24th, 11:30 a.m. 2024, which is the hopeful year of Jacob's trouble. Okay, so it says Big Ben's hands freeze at 9 a.m. for more than an hour before the famous clock sounds the wrong number of bongs in major malfunction in 2 years after it was refurbished. So this clock's supposed to have been refurbished, 2 years ago. But then it freezes after 9 a.m. and then it sounds the wrong number of bongs. Now, what I want you to do is pay your attention to the number of bongs that it chimed off. I'm going to go straight to the point here. Okay. It says the hourly strikes of the bells were also paused and will resume at midday. They too reportedly malfunctioned by performing 11 chimes at 10:06 a.m. You hear that? So that's why I said, remember 9 a.m. and now remember the 11 chimes. And then in the midst of all that, you got this happening. Okay, you got a white horse with blood covered in it. Military horses galloping through the streets of London. So, nothing is a coincidence. And things are happening, man. Esau's, ready to make a move. Okay, and this is why, this is why we got to give you warning. All right, this is why we're blowing the trumpet. Let's get Joel 2:1 real quick. Like I said, I ain't gonna make this video too long. Just gonna hit the points. It says, blow ye the trumpet in Zion and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai cometh, for it is nigh at hand. So we're supposed to be blowing the trumpet and letting you know what's about to happen. You see, Esau, they ain't taking any breaks. The scriptures speak about, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. And Satan just means adversary. Okay, so Esau's gonna come with it, man. We're talking about the hour of temptation. I remember Elder Apostle Tahar did the video. The elect in the UK shall be tried first. There's gonna come a time where they're just gonna kick your door off your hinges, and they're gonna be, grabbing some of us out of our homes. Some of us, sincere believers, and casting us into the concentration camps. All right, which is prophesied to happen. That's in Revelation 2:10. It says, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. So ultimately, man, the Lord, but the scripture says, precious in the sight of the Lord is the death of his saints. So can we still die believing and serving in the Lord? Hell yeah. All right, but if we die, we doing the work, sincerely believing in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, believing in these prophecies, man. Hey, remember the scripture says that the dead in Yahweh Shai shall rise first. So that's why the Lord telling us to be faithful unto death, because Esau's gonna do what he's gonna do. All right, don't go on like you didn't see them just get rid of the Georgia Guidestones. Apparently they blew that up. Out with the old, in with the new world order. Okay, which on the Georgia Guidestones, they said they wanted to, maintain human population to around 500 million. That means that they want to do a lot of destroying. They want to do a lot of killing. All right, it's called thinning the herd, or the culling. Okay. In fact, let's look up that word, the culling. Let's see what that is. Let me see. Let me pull that up there. The culling. We'll just type in meaning. All right. And they call you goyim as well, which means cattle. When I say they, I'm talking about them, them small hats. They call you the goyim, which is cattle. And they got a term called culling, and it says the reduction of a wild animal population by selective slaughter. The action of sending an inferior of surplus farm animal to be slaughtered. I'm gonna go from there to Ezekiel 21:9. All right, so this is Ezekiel 21 verse 9. It says, son of man, prophesy and say, thus saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, say a sword is sharpened. And what's Esau's blessing? When you go into the book of Genesis, the 27th chapter, it speaks about Esau was given the blessing of the sword. All right, which is the sword of the Lord on the left-hand side. He was given that blessing by his father Isaac, which is Yahweh Shai, if you can receive it. Okay, so Esau has been given that blessing, and you best believe he's going to use that sword in these last days, because his kingdom is going down. All right, so this is his last chance at grasping what's left of his kingdom to usher in the NWO, because he's trying to get that birthright, man. But that birthright went for him. It was set up for us. Okay, because the scriptures tell you that Esau is the end of the world. Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth, man. And you see these blood-soaked horses running through the streets of London. Horse represents power. All right, now you got them, and they were military horses. They were running through the streets of London covered in blood. Now, what should that tell you? That's a definite dark omen. Okay, that's the definite omen. That's a sign. An omen means a sign. Okay, but we know that these things are going to happen. We know what they're planning to do, and that's why we got to stay circumspect. The scripture say, redeeming the time because the days are evil. And that's why I read the scripture in Joel 2:1 about how us blowing the trumpet. That's what we're supposed to be doing. Okay, it says, say a sword is sharpened and also furbished. It is sharpened to make a sore slaughter. It is furbished that it may glitter, should we then make mirth. Now, even going back to this whole Big Ben freezing at 9 a.m. and then making the wrong sound or numbers of chimes, 11 chimes. That's that 9/11 right there, man. So are they planning to do, and we've been telling you this, man, there's going to be like a Black Swan event or a false flag or a series of them. And they put them, that's predictive programming, they put it in the movies like Children of Men or London Has Fallen, man. Olympus Has Fallen. You know, they put it in these movies to show you exactly what they're planning to do. All right, Mission Impossible Fallout. And in that movie, Mission Impossible Fallout with, who's his name again? Tom Cruise, who starred in War of the Worlds. You know, which in War of the Worlds, you saw the chariot shooting out them laser beams. And that's what Yahweh Shai is coming back with. So the first thing I thought about when I saw that white horse was I thought about Yahweh Shai, how he's going to come back upon that white horse, which is a gigantic so-called UFO. All right, because white represents purity and a horse represents power. Okay. But yeah, man, you know, he starred in that movie War of the Worlds, but he was also in the movie Mission Impossible Fallout. Now, they were demonizing certain individuals. They were like the so-called terrorists in the movie Mission Impossible Fallout, you know, and they called them the apostles, man. All right, and that's what they put that in the movie Mission Impossible Fallout. So they're telling you that they're coming, you know. They're telling you that they're coming for those that sincerely believe in this word, which are the, you know, the sincere believers of the nation of Israel, the elect. Okay, and that's why I read Revelation 2 and 9. All right, now they're gonna do this. You know, it's this 9. The apostles, they got arrested around about that time of 9/11, man. All right, and they always tell us that, you know, how they, you know, they pretty much surrounded the school and that and whatever, you know. And it was, you know, they tell us the stories of these things. Why do you think they tell us these things? They tell us to get our minds prepared for when they come and they do this, because they're gonna pin this shit on us, man. When they do these false flag events, you best believe they're gonna pin it on us, and they're gonna make us look like the worst things out there. All right, if you notice, you've been seeing a lot more people. They've been doing a lot more school shootings, school stabbings, and so on and so forth. Even over here in the UK, there was one in Wales the other day. Shit, there was one, you know, in North London, you know, just a few days ago. You know, so hey, things are happening, man. All right, things are getting more, you know, volatile, if you will. All right, but I just thought that was spiritual. I wanted to speak on that. Big Ben's hands freeze at 9 a.m. and it sounded the wrong number of bongs in a major malfunction. All right, and it bonged 11 times. All right, so they're planning something. They're planning something. All right, and we got to stay alert. Okay, it says should we then make mirth? And no, we're not in the time of mirth. All right, first of all, the scriptures speak about set the mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry. You know, for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. See, we're in the spirit of sighing and crying, man. You know, we want this place, you know, we want Esau's kingdom to go down, and we want Yahweh Shai to come back and establish his kingdom on the earth, because it's going to be a kingdom of righteousness, and that's what we want. We don't want to stay in this cesspit of filth and confusion. All right, it's a mess, man. Okay, and just like righteous Lot, this, you know, this place, you know, he was vexed with the filthy conversation of the wicked, and that's exactly how we are. We're vexed with this place. Okay. It says, they contemneth the rod of my son as every tree, verse 11, and he hath given it to be furbished, that it may be handled. The sword is sharpened, and it is furbished to give it into the hand of the slayer. All right, you know what the scriptures say in Ezekiel 9 and 5, slay utterly. In fact, let's get that scripture. Let's get Ezekiel 9 and 5. All right, we can start from 4. And the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads. And that word mark in the Hebrew is tawar, which means an exemption from judgment. So yeah, Esau's got his plans, you know, but we hope that the Lord gives us that exemption, you know. You know, we get that mark upon us, that exemption from judgment, the tawar, you know, upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. So that's the spirit that the elect are going to be in, sighing and crying, basically vex, you know. And just like ancient Egypt, you know, where they made us to serve with rigor. You know, the Lord heard our cries back in the, you know, ancient Egyptian empire when we were serving in a hardcore bondage. And it ain't no different with the modern day Egyptian empire. All right, because the modern day Pharaoh is Esau. Okay, and modern day Egypt is America, Babylon the Great. That's why they have the pyramid on the back of the dollar bill. Okay, it says, and to the others he said in mine hearing, go ye after him. You know, in fact, that told you Revelation 11:8, and their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which is America, which spiritually is called Sodom in Egypt, and they promote nothing but sodomy in the land of America. All right, freaks like was it Bruce turned to Kylie Jenner or whatever, man, Caitlyn Jenner, whatever the names are, you know, a bunch of freaks, and you know, and given bravery awards for that, and you know that, you know, freakism is upheld in Babylon the Great, and this, you know, just for that alone, the Lord's going to destroy Babylon the Great, which is America. It says, go ye after him through the smitty and through the city and smite, and let not your eyes spare, neither have ye pity. Slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children and women. And they even showed you that in the movie Civil War. Now, why do you think they're coming out with movies like Civil War, you know, showing you pretty much no mercy and people just getting taken out on sight? Why do you think they're putting it in these movies, man? Again, predictive programming. They're letting you know what's coming. You know, Esau's kingdom is divided, man. Especially with the immigrants and that, you know, this Rwanda bill and that, whatever that they just passed over here. Rishi Sunak, the Prime Minister of the UK, you know what I mean? Deporting migrants back to Rwanda and this and that and whatever. You got the migrant crisis happening over there in Babylon the Great. The border crisis. You got the, you know, the Republicans split down the middle against the Democrats. Esau's kingdom is divided. And the Lord said he would set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. City against city. Nation against nation. This is the time that we're in. That's why you got movies like Civil War coming out. Which ultimately the Lord's having these movies come out. You got these dirty ass celebrities getting exposed in these last days. These things are happening because the Lord is bringing this to the forefront. All right? Because the Lord's about to make his return. When I say the Lord, I'm talking about Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Shai is about to come back and lay the smackdown on this place. All right? And he's coming back with the angels, the armies of heaven. And they're going to follow him upon what? White horses. Read Revelation 11 or 19 and 11 on down. Okay? It says, but come not near any man upon whom is the mark, and begin at my sanctuary. Then they began at the ancient men which were before the house. And that reminds me of that scripture, you know, the judgment. We can close out on that. Was it second? Is it second or first Peter 4? Second Peter, First Peter chapter 4 and verse 17. It says, for the time is come that judgment must begin at the house of Yahweh, meaning those that know that they're Israelites, right? And if it first begin at us, what shall the end be of them that obey not the gospel of Yahweh? And if the righteous scarcely be saved, where shall the ungodly and the sinner appear? So judgment is coming, man. All right. And if you don't believe in it, the scripture says all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. All right. There's signs out there. They're straight up calling it, a dark omen. All right. This is on mainstream media. They're letting you know that things are about to happen. Military horses bolting through the streets of London covered in blood, man. All right. Shit's about to go down. The military, they're about to send the military out here and they're about to be fucking headshotting you, Jakes. The time of Jacob's trouble, man. All right. The end is near. Look at that. All right. So with that, man, I pray you were edified with this lesson. Lord willing, it was edifying. You know, that whole, 9/11 thing, that ain't no coincidence, man. They're about to do something. All right. Major false flag events, that are going to be taking place. All right. Stay circumspect, stay prayed up, and shalom to the elect.